That's the last one. All right. Does one person want to just share one reaction that they had about one of these people, how warm you felt they are, how competent, and potentially why? Just one person for the sake of time. Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Aura.
Aura?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Go ahead.
Thanks. Can I make an overall observation?
Sure.
Oh, cool.
I was generally more warm. I felt more warmly towards people who were smiling and not like fake smiling, like smiling with your eyes as well. Like this guy in particular, I see the smile, but I don't necessarily believe it in the eyes. And that's one way to go about judging.
Facial expressions. Yeah, absolutely. How about one more? Something different. Yeah. What's your name?
Great. Hi, I'm Arthur.
Hi, Arthur.
The woman, I guess, in the Indian sari, warmly, very much. I mean, she had a grandmotherly look to you. I think that's human nature. Competent, I had no idea. I just couldn't make a judgment on that. I'm certain she's got some talents and some skills. I just don't. I don't know about her. That's the honest opinion. So
Okay.
And I mean, I realize it's probably not good, but
No, that's great. That's great. So let's see who these folks are. This person here, his name is John Fetterman. He is the mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania. The tattoo on his arm is his zip code. He has a master's degree in public policy from Harvard. He served in AmeriCorps. He received international media attention for economic revitalization programming starting in his city. And I actually know this guy. I worked in another agency before Department of Labor, and have invited him to the White House to speak, and I've heard him speak on multiple occasions. He's brilliant, he's wonderful. You may or may not have been able to create that story of him. The other interesting thing that I know about him is if you see on his other arm here, they're like another tattoo, those are hash marks, and he tattoos a mark on his arm every time a young person is killed in his city as a result of gun violence or gang activity. He's extraordinarily passionate. Pratibha Patil, first female president of India.
That was my guess after you started going into this. I said, yeah, she's probably like a leader of India.
But she's an economist, she's an attorney. Who knew that she was the first female president of India? One person, maybe I see it's sort of a half a hand, right? So that's telling in itself. Anyone know who this is?
Ted Bundy.
This is Ted Bundy, American serial killer and rapist, confessed to killing 30 people. Mae Jemison, physician, professor, U.S. astronaut. And then finally, Jameson Green, educator, author, speaker, international expert on transgender rights, assigned female at birth. How many people created a very different story than what they saw or experienced or heard?
I did think there was something weird about Ted Bundy.
And we all have these reactions, and this is the core of how we create our biases. They happen we make these, how we have our judgments. We do it right away, and before you know it, within 10 seconds, we've created an entire story about somebody that is often very different than who they really are. So let's keep that in mind. So is it fair to say that a bias is a tendency or inclination that results in judgment without question? That it's automatic? It's a shortcut to interact with the world? Is that fair? All right, so what's unconscious bias? Somebody was saying earlier, maybe things are more conscious than we want to recognize. I would totally agree. Here in terms of how we might look at unconscious bias as potentially different than a conscious bias is mental associations without aware intent or control. These often conflict with our conscious attitudes, behaviors, and intentions. We are often bringing a bias that may completely contradict our intentions or even our beliefs. or the beliefs that we want to have. So, what function does bias serve?
Guides behavior.
It guides behavior. What else? Yeah.
Allows you to quickly make sense of the world.
It quickly, automatic shortcuts. You make sense of the world. What else?
Tribalism.
Miss Yellow.
Tribalism,
Tribal. Did you say tribalism? Say more.
a bias of who you choose to surround yourself with.
That's exactly right. So you could take an evolutionary stance on this and go all the way back in time, and this is actually, it's survival, right? We, in an instant, we need to know what. Is somebody a friend or is somebody a foe? Do I need to reach out? Do I need to protect? It actually takes 20% more glucose and oxygen to process a foe as a friend. So there's something chemically going on with us when we encounter someone who is like us and we know and understand, to someone who's what? Potentially something you don't know, potentially a threat, right? If you're going down a dark alley at night and you see somebody coming up to you with a knife, you're gonna run like hell, right? Exactly, your mind goes right into reactionary mode, okay? You are surviving. So that's why bias isn't bad all the time. Bias in nature isn't bad. It's the fact that we don't know it's there, or excuse me, we don't know that it's operating, and then therefore we don't have control over the behavior that comes in that instant, in that moment, where then in hindsight maybe we have judged somebody, or maybe we have taken an action on somebody, or maybe we have hurt somebody, or maybe we have denied somebody an opportunity to work within our organization because we did what? We brought our biases to the table and weren't able to really see the full reality of the way they are. So let's take it a step further, and this is, the field of diversity as a field. Often in the past was taught how us versus them. Who's dominant in your organization? And who do you want to bring into your organization? What are some of the us versus them in our organizations or in our society? Yeah, you just yell them out.
I mean, I think us is privilege for the jobs that we have.
Yeah?
You people.
You people.